Duncan and his Irish granny are back to fight more sword and sorcery across modern England. And this time, it's not just King Arthur and Merlin they have to tangle with, they also have to face the legendary Beowulf. Will Duncan and his granny, as well as Rose, be able to conquer this new foe, or will things just go crazy? That's right, it's time to look at Once and Future Volume 2 from Kieron Gillen and Boom Studios. Hi everyone, I'm Carrie, aka Nerdy Girl Crates, and welcome to my channel. That's right, if you've been following me, you know I reviewed Once and Future once before, and I've been trying to continue the series, but a lot's been on my plate. So I finally got around to Volume 2, and let me tell you, I'm enjoying it. It pretty much picks up not too long after the last volume. Duncan is not happy with his granny. There was a lot of big secrets revealed at the end of Volume 1, and he is kind of holding a grudge towards her. But unfortunately, he still needs her help to deal with the creatures that are popping up across England, so he's dependent on her when it comes to knowledge. She's also patiently awaiting him to finally talk about what happened in the previous volume, but, you know, he's been sticking pretty much to the topic at hand, which is fighting monsters. Now, Rose, the girl Duncan got set up with on a date last time and got wrapped up in their whole adventure, is back to help them hunt down more of these demonic forces being conjured by King Arthur and Merlin. I have to say, this one, the action doesn't stop. Like, the opening, you pretty much get a few minutes to kind of like establish what's going on, and then from there it's like beat after beat action. Poor Duncan doesn't even get a moment to lay down in his bed before his phone is ringing again with something going on. And to have this also dynamic right now being challenged, this, I should say, the strain between Granny and Duncan kind of helps the situation. Also, what occurs plays into that a lot. Rose being more of a team player, she's kind of now more knowledgeable about what's going on, so she's not out of the loop. She's also brings a lot of her own input to the situation. She's using her own magic tactics to figure out where things are going to happen, and it helps Duncan and Granny locate them. Now, you could tell from this, Duncan is having a really hard time after what happened in the previous volume. He's kind of struggling with his past. I don't want to ruin anything if anybody's not read the first volume. But it kind of like, at points in this, affects him at the wrong moment. You're also getting a little more about Merlin. You kind of get this sense that Merlin has something else at play he's not saying. You know, Arthur is obviously more a pawn in his game than somebody he is working for or, you know, as servant to. He seems to be more of the mastermind. You also have that mysterious character from the first one that plays a big part in Duncan's life. Don't want to ruin anything, who's also being used as a pawn for Merlin, but she's kind of like knows both sides of the game. And you kind of don't know if you can trust her or not. There's a moment she does something that makes you think maybe she's not really on board with what Merlin's doing, but then you remember what happened before. Now, art-wise, I really love the art in this, just like before, and I love the use of colors. Especially when you get to like scenes where it's supposed to be nighttime and you have a creature showing up or you have Beowulf showing up. The use of certain colors to help pop off the page is great. Like there's a great use of like purples and yellows and greens and blues, and it just kind of helps like accentuate the supernatural element of the scenery. The creatures themselves that come into play in this are amazingly drawn. Beowulf, his depiction in this visually is great. Also, writing-wise, he doesn't have as much of a part as you would expect, but it plays into the entire plot. I'm not going to say too much because I want you to read this. Granny also finds herself in a situation in this where she has to kind of stand on her own. She kind of put herself in this situation with the whole Duncan episode. But Granny, I want to be like her at her age. That's all I want to say about that, man. Because despite living in a nursing home, she can handle her own, and she's just awesome. I've loved her since the first book. Again, art's great, story is great. I do highly recommend it. The characters, like I was saying before, the interactions are really good. Rose is not that much on the scene as she was in the first one, but she does play like a very important support character. So she's back in the background more. You know, she's kind of like the contact person to give them the info they need to take care of something or the location of where they need to go. She's like their GPS unit for monsters. I'm not joking. You also have on the villain side, like I was saying a little bit earlier, a bit of, I would say, mistrust because you have the one female character who I don't want to ruin anything with working for Merlin, and she knows Merlin is really the one behind everything, and Arthur is just a pawn. So is the child. You have to go back and read the first one. And some things get done that you're just like, oh my god. Like, even when Duncan comes across the child from the first one, he is kind of shocked to see his state. I think they're also kind of shocked because they've been dealing mostly with more English-based mythology, but now they're bringing in Beowulf. Makes me wonder in the future volumes what other kind of mythological creatures we're going to see that aren't just constrained to Britain. And it's really interesting. I'd like to see also some that maybe not as familiar, say Beowulf or King Arthur. It'd be great if they get into so much more lesser known lore, but I'm looking forward to it. Again, action, fast pace. The art is great. The colors on this just pop. They kind of help the scenery and set it. The characters' relationships are just well written. Everybody plays an important part in this, even if they're not in it that long. Their appearance means something. It's not like somebody just randomly coming onto the scene and it just disappears. But Kieron Gillen does great with this story so far. I am really enjoying it. I did read it on digital, but I'm probably going to pick up the graphic novel next time I'm at my comic store. I am going to be doing 3 next, and hopefully down the line I'll do another review on that. But I am joining Once in Future. I mean, this is something, like, you're looking for something new and fresh. I really recommend it. It's from Boom Studios. It's on Comixology. You probably can get it on Amazon. Check out your local comic book stores. I always push supporting them first above anything else. But if you can't, you can download it off Amazon into your Comixology app. I think you can even read it for free right now on Comixology. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you have like an account with them, I think you could do it. So, but I always say support your local comic book shop first and foremost, and go check out Once in Future. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please comment down below. Let me know if there's any other indie comics I need to review for Indie Friday, because I'm always looking for more. So yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.